Hi guys, first of all, everything you're going to need for this video will be written below. Please just cook everything at the manufacturer's recommended temperatures. Now, I wanted to make something, I'm not really a seasonal person, but I did feel like I wanted to make something Christmassy, and I don't have any Christmas cutters because it's not my thing. But then an idea came to me, as you know when you lose a pet, what it's like, and we not long ago lost one ourselves. So I thought, well, what about doing a Christmas decoration memorial thing? So as you can see at the picture at the beginning, what you're looking to end up with, I thought I'd show it you in stages. Now obviously there are two clouds, and I'm going to do them one at a time so that I don't confuse you or myself. I'm lucky enough that I had a small cloud cutter, but for the bigger one I've just cut out the cloud myself. Okay, so that's going to be the bigger one, this will be below. So we're going to start with the bigger one. Now you're also going to need an inkjet printer, and for the top cloud, obviously I've written what I want to put, always in our hearts, Alf 2011 to 2019. This is a picture of him, which I'm going to put in the big cloud. So with the inkjet printer, that allows us to print down onto the paper. So I'm going to start at the beginning, and we'll work our way through it all. I hope I've explained that clearly. So here I've rolled 4 pieces of white clay. I'm just using Fimo white clay, all rolled out on a number 2 for now. And as we go through each part of the technique, we can chop and change them as we need to, but just to keep it simple, 4 pieces of white clay rolled out on a number 2. I took it from a big block, so I can't tell you how much, but that's about the size you want. Okay, so let me just tidy this up and I'll be back with the first bit. Hi, I just want to explain for clarity, I went on to video the inkjet printer being used, etc., and printing out the pictures, and I just kept losing too many bits. So it will make sense now that I've moved straight on to using Mod Podge instead of water. So I just wanted the video to flow, so that's all I needed to say. It'll make sense now. Okay, I did some research before I decided to redo them, and when I used to do it with wood, I always used Mod Podge, and I've always heard Mod Podge is bad for clay. But I found a video, which I will link underneath, of a lady showing it being done with Mod Podge, and from what I can work out, the Mod Podge is no good as an outer coating, for a resin or a glaze, but to do this it's fine. So I'm going to try this with Mod Podge and see what happens. Okay, so basically, don't forget your pictures need to be reversed, especially your writing. So reverse everything, unless you don't mind it being the other way, but obviously with writing you'll need to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a nice layer of Mod Podge on these. Now, because I've tried this a few times and I've gone wrong right at the end, I'm wondering whether I'm not applying enough Mod Podge. So I'm going to apply a little bit more and see if that helps. I'm going to do a second one, so I've got a hope that one will come out without me going too, because that's the problem, it's great until you go too far. So that should be alright. Whoops, don't move. It should be alright for a second. I'm going to dab that, and I'm going to leave that for 15 minutes, and then I'll be back. And the only thing you'll need then will be just a little thing of water to gently start easing it off. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so now I'm back. Oh, just hoping it'll work this time. I'm not giving in. It won't beat me. Even if it beats me tonight, I'll be back. So I'm just adding a little bit of water on the back. What we want to do is saturate the paper slowly so that it starts to peel away under our fingers. I cannot express enough how the further down you go, the slower and more gently you need to go. I've now gone wrong a few times, but I've been trying to work out what I'm getting wrong, and I'm just hoping that number one, I added a little bit more Mod Podge, and number two, I left it longer. I've left it for half an hour. I did the 15 minutes following the instructions of the lady's video I saw, but I'm thinking maybe it needs a little bit longer, but then we'll see. I might have the same error happen now in a minute. That one looks like it's got something missing. It can't have. Oh no, don't tell me I've only got one to use. Not now. Like slowly just starting to feel the paper easing. I didn't end up using the circle either. I'm just going to cut the circle out afterwards. There we go, this is starting to come off now. That one there looks like there's a piece missing from printing, but it might just be paper on the top that hasn't come away yet. Let's see. I think it might be alright. Right, I'll keep moving from one to the other and see if one of them's going to be good enough. I really hope it is, because the quality is lovely. But I don't know how many times tonight with the water and then this I've got so far and then I've messed it up. The lady on the video that I'll link below, she says, you know, herself, give yourself about, she had a bigger piece, but she said give yourself, you know, about 10 minutes, do it really slowly, and that does make total sense from when I used to do it. It's not so fragile on wood, and I certainly added more Mod Podge on wood. But we'll see, it's all trial and error, isn't it? It's finding out what's best so you can go forward with what we find. And hopefully if you want to produce one with your pet at Christmas. I just think it's nice, some people are light a candle for someone they've lost, things like that. And I just think a nice Christmas decoration is lovely. It's like a part of them still here with you. But I'm a soppy sod when it comes to animals. I need to slow down. No matter how slow I'm going, I need to slow down more. It's coming away thicker now. I think I'm just starting to get little glimmers on this one of the actual picture. Come on, please work. So far, so good. Let's go back to this one. I'm going to have to move the paper around the edges, but we don't have to be that gentle there. It's just knowing when not to go too far. You know, that one roll too many can make the difference. Oops, there you go. I'm just about to go over. I'm wondering if I've been oversaturating it at all. So now I'm trying this one without adding more water till I absolutely have to. So, hoping that this hasn't been for nothing. And if it's a learning curve, then it's worth it. If I got a brush, I can brush it away. Yeah, I can see his face now, but there's definitely another layer needs to come off, and it's that layer, I'm sure. This one. I think it's okay so far, but I'm going to add a little bit more water now. Right. I mean, you are going to have some patience doing this, because you may have to do it a few times just for practice alone and working out. You know, it seems so far to me the Mod Podge is much better than the water. I think leaving it 30 minutes rather than 15 has helped, and I do think putting on a little bit more Mod Podge may have helped, I hope. So that's what I think I've gained from it so far, unless these both go wrong now. I'm not too worried about the paint getting the clay getting grotty at this point, because I'm sure we'll be able to remedy that somehow. It just can't be helped. So see what we can do about that after. Right. There we go. Just about to go over there. See if I can save it. Overdone that now. I think it's probably enough to get away with at this point, but see what I can do with this one. Oh, it's going to be so frustrating if I have to do it again. Didn't expect it to get this grotty, but we'll sort that. Right, now I'm going to have to be really careful now. This is going to have to be my last rub on this one. And even if I haven't got it all off, as long as the picture's clear and I can see who it is, I'll be happy at this stage. And when we resin it, it's going to lift the picture. Sometimes I think I've overdone it, and it's not, it's just the little flecks of white paper. Right. does need a little bit more. Wondering whether to give it a minute. This is where it can all go wrong now. I'm going to dab that. It's just this eye. I know from just that picture I can see that I haven't quite got it off his eye yet, but and this part of his nose. I'm just trying to nearly there, come on, you can do this. Right. Literally just trying to remove the little flecks of paper that I can blatantly see defying me. Right, now I'm going to see if I can clean around it a bit. To go and get a fresh wet one, bear with me. Right, I'm back. Let's see how much I can clean around it. Actually, because that's a rather grey looking mess at the moment. There's still a bit more to come off there. This ain't for the faint-hearted. So. Which is the one there, isn't it? It's the one I'm using when I do cut it out. I'm just thinking about where I need to be working with and not just wasting time. Wondering whether it would be better to just use alcohol ink around it. Whether that's... Oh, we've got a bit of paper there. Oh no, don't move the ear. I'm going to get a bit of alcohol. Alcohol ink. Bit of alcohol and see if that helps. So if you don't make all my mistakes, you should whiz through this. I've made them for you. I know that once I cut the circle out, it won't be so bad, but I don't want to weaken it at the moment, so give it another go. Right, that's about it, I think. I'm going to get clean now. Yeah, I think I'm okay. okay with that. So now I'm going to use a smaller cutter and cut it out, but I'm going to move it before I do. Actually, I'll cut that off anyway. I'm still on screen, so I need to be able to look over it. So don't tell me I've cut that too far. No, just right. So now I'm just going to press down, and I've got my picture of my boy. And then with this one, I want to make sure I fill the central part. Actually saying that, no, not going to do it like that at all. I'm going to cut out the shape of the, it's going to be the other way, I'm going to cut out the shape of, I hope you can see the white on white. I'm going to cut out the shape of the cloud first. No, that won't make sense either, I haven't thought this through. You're going to need some gold foil, gold leaf. It would be much better if you can do just one piece rather than lots of little bits, just so it looks better, you know, the end result. I'm just seeing if I can find some gold. Okay. So, is that right? So if I do it that way, it should cover the lot. So I'm going to try and get this down in one piece. I'm going to do it diagonally because I want to make sure it covers the whole cloud. I've split it. I was hesitating. Never mind. It's going to crackle anyway, but I just didn't want lots of white gaps. So we'll just do that and it'll come off where it needs to. Now, I'm just going to burnish it when I find some paper. Oh, it's a bit small. I'm just going to burnish this down. And then we're going to run it through onto a number 3 just so it gets a bit of a crackle. That's why I rethought cutting it, because I thought no, when we run it through it's going to misshape it again. So I'm going to give it a little pull this way because we're not running it that way, and then I'm going to run it through on a number 3 just to give it a bit of crackle. There we go, it's better. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be placing that into the centre of this, but we're going to cut one piece out, so the other piece is going to be for backing. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got that now. That's not dry to touch yet, so I've got to leave that. What's the next best piece to work on? Okay, this is staying rolled out on a number 2 because what I'm going to do is try to get a lace effect to cover it all. I know it's not going to stay white with this, as clean as it looks, it will not, but well, you know, it doesn't matter, I'm going to be decorating it, painting it, etc. So hopefully nothing will show. Now I'm leaving it where I did it on a number 2 because I know I'm putting it through the machine. If you don't have this exact cutter, you know, any cutter, any pattern, it doesn't have to be lace. Just check this out. Yeah, that's plenty big enough. So stayed fairly good. So while I was waiting for it all to dry, I cut out the other pieces with the cloud. I just used the cloud as a template, so I had each piece done ready just to save time. So that's the lace and that. I've literally just cut around the template cloud and that'll be the back. So just to let you know, so that's clear. So we want, this is the back, it's ready to go there. It doesn't matter if they don't match exactly. I mean, I just roughly cut them out with a knife. We'll sort all that out after. Now I'm going to work out exactly where I want this young man to go. Be very good if he, I'm going to be using the bigger circle cutter as well, so let's work out where that goes to know because that's going to be like a bit of a gold frame. So that is about right. So if I cut this out here, and then I gently lift this onto here. Oh, I need to clean this knife, it's looking a bit rotty. This is that Mod Podge I think it's got on it. Sort it out later. Right. So I'm lifting this now and placing it as best as I can, and making sure I keep that circle shape as best as I can, and that's not good. I don't know whether to add it. I've really got the urge to go over that again, but I just think I'm going to take too much off. But there's more paper, but it's just so fragile at this point. I remember this now from before. It's a good few years since I've done it, but I can remember now every time you thought it was done and then it dried, you knew there was more. Right, that's getting a very gentle dab, and then I'm just going to once, and then I'm leaving it. Go over it just to get that. Oh, I can see right into his eye so clearly. It's really. Yeah, that was worth doing. Now the only trouble is I've dirted all the edge again. Says me, and it'll dry in a minute and no need doing again. But you only have to make it once and it should last all Christmas-ish, shouldn't it? Don't want you going on there. Off it comes. It's all nice and clean. I was thinking if it doesn't clean up very well, I'll just sprinkle some mica around it, but we might get away with it. One more dab. That's perfect. It's perfect as it's going to get, certainly for now. So, got the circle, I just cut off that little metal ridge you always get from these metal cutters. And now we've got to ease that in so it's going to fit, and I think it's going to dry and need a bit more. I'm not going to make it look easier than it is, because it is a it is quite a project. It doesn't take long, but it's a case of working out what's the best move. Okay, come this far. Do I risk going over it? Because I think when it's resined, I hope when it's resined it will make the face pop quite a bit more. Okay, so I'm thinking on my feet a bit here, because this is the first time I'm sort of doing it, you know, I haven't practiced the whole thing. So with this lace that's going to be on the top, I want to cut it out. So we've obviously got that circle, and I wanted to cut out a slightly bigger one there. And now it's dawned on me that you're not going to actually be able to see it. So all I can do is use my eye to roughly work out where I think that is, just like you would centralising anything else. So, I mean, if I get it wrong, we can adjust the edges of the cloud, so I'm not bothered about that too much at this point. Is that there? I think that's about right, so I'm going to say that's it. So I know that I'm going to be cutting out just outside of that, so I get that centralised. Gently remove this inner one. Now all I want to do is gently mark it so I know where or how much I want to be showing. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the inside anyway, all the way. Centralise it as best you can. It's not going to matter to the millimetre, but obviously it's worth taking that little bit of extra time. See, that's up a tiny bit. Right, that's going to do. So I'm going to remove that one. I've got the marked edge that tells me how much it can curl back, because that's what the aim is. And now I want to decorate this. So initially I want to give this some colour. I've got a bit of black there, must have come off the cutter. Probably cover it anyway. Okay, so what am I going to use? I've got some gold pearl paint. This is Kaleidoscope. So I think I'm going to cover it with that. Or am I? No, I'm going to use, I've got some brilliant silver, I've got some holographic gold and some solar gold, and I've got some snow white, because I want it all glittery, but I'm just trying to work out the best way to do it. If I had the glitter first, and then I could mica it, and then the mica won't stay on the glitter, it'll bypass it, won't it? So that glitter should show through. Am I right or not? I don't know, but let's see what we can do. And then I'm going to use that white gold paint to edge the higher pieces. Just want to have a bit of a Christmassy, glistening, lacy front. So that's that, and I'll be mixing different golds. That's holographic gold, so I'll add a little bit of that. That gives this a nice shimmer, but I want to try and get it in the crevices a bit. So I'll see if I can work it in gently with my finger, because you can't burnish it in because the texture will go. So I'll just do it best I can like this. Do you know, most of the things I make are made like this. I don't know what I'm doing and I just let things happen. I kind of plan this, but sometimes when you plan it in your head it's a lot easier than the actual thing, isn't it? So that's that. Just trying to work out whether I want to add any gold on the inner edges. I think I do. I might re-add when it's baked. Or do I want to add silver? Alf, you're going to need another layer, mate. Now you've dried over. Maybe that's what I needed to do. I just needed to leave it to dry a bit longer. It's that long since I've done it. I'd be reading up on it again anyway. I'm going to go gold. I'm just going to grab some gold mica, and I'm going to go round the inner rim and the outer edge. See how this works. Not too much. So I've got it round that inner rim. Try and get it kind of even. And now I'm going to go right round the edge initially. Not sure if I'll do anything else to the edge at a later stage. Going to remark. I don't know whether to go over it with the paint now or later, because that's something I can do when it's baked. I'm just going to leave it like that for now, ready to move it onto there. But I want to remark that outer hole. You can see it where it is, but I'll just excuse my head a minute. I need to get in there to see. Okay, that's probably about as straight as it's going to get. I'm just going to gently mark it again, and that's where I'm going to be lifting it. I'm not sure whether to cut it. I'd rather it stayed smooth than put any slices in it, so I'd rather ease it up if I can. This is one of those, this will work in theory, but will it work in practice? Actually, you know what, I'm going to lift the whole thing up and see if that'll make it easier. Because I've got to do it before it goes on there. I don't want it losing its shape. So I'm seeing if I can just want to ease them up like that. Try and make sure I keep it even. And then those two. And then those two. So those two, those two, and then I'll take out that, and that. So I kind of opened it up like a bigger hole, and I'll get it on there first and then see what I'll do with it next, because it's going to probably need a little bit of amending now. So I'm going to roughly follow the cloud pattern. Now I don't know whether it'd be a good or bad thing. I shouldn't need liquid clay because there's cracks have allowed clay to come through, and I'm going to be applying a good bit of pressure around, but I'm wondering whether to, do you know what, I'm going to add a bit of liquid clay just to be on the safe side and hope it doesn't make it harder to do. I'm just going to put a little circle around here and make sure I keep it what's hopefully on the outside of what you can see, because I can't get another one. That one's had its day. Right, allowing for the fact that this is bigger, I'm just going to take this little circle around the edge, just a bit outside of where it will show. That'll just give us enough that it will hold it as we work with it. Right, try again, and just hope that doesn't make it harder. Right, so let's get this done first. I'm going to use a cotton bud and see if I can ease it out like that. So I'm kind of happy with the edges for now, because we're going to play with them. So now I'm just going to, I want to try and have the similar amount of the gold foil showing through all the way around, so it's a bit like a frame. I think that's about right. Then I was planning to roll these this way, but I don't know whether it's, and that's why I add the foil to the edge, but I'm not sure which way will look best. Thinking about it as well, I'm going to have to do the paint now if I'm doing that. Well, I'm only outlining the top, so hopefully it's a bit much. What shall I use? What do So I'm really carefully just going to pick up the lace pattern so the light will catch it and it will shimmer lovely then. If I do this now, then at least I can lift the sides up and put it into bake, or get it ready to put into bake. We've got the other one to do yet. The other one's going to be quite similar to this, but a little bit easier because I'm not putting the gold foil behind or anything. But I love this pearl gold. Gives a really nice shimmer. Right, hopefully I want that to look a little bit more rugged. I'm going to add a tiny bit of gold around the top now I can see it. Check that at the end. Okay, well that's that for now. So the next step is to see if I should wing these up and let the gold show through on the edges or not. I know sometimes less is more, but if ever you're going to have bling, it's going to be Christmas, isn't it? On a Christmas tree. Trying to get it to keep the cloud shape. I want it to just kind of look a bit weathered-y, tattered-y. I'm going to take a gamble and I'm going to bake it, and after I've baked it I'm going to see if I can get another layer of his face off then. I know it'll go wrong if I try it now, but I'm just wondering if it'll make a difference. So I'm going to leave that now and move it out of the way while we go to work on number 2. Now for the smaller one, because I was waiting, you're going to need just 2 pieces of clay cut out in this heart. I've only done this so far, but while I was waiting I thought I might as well do the Mod Podge thing and have a little go. Now I've left this a long time, so I'm hoping so basically with the other cloud number 2 I think I did this on because there's less layers, and I've cut out this one so far. I will cut out the top layer in the lace again, but I just want to get the rest of the, well, imagine I've done it. Now I hadn't remembered earlier, but then it dawned on me to turn the writing round, so I reversed the writing and then reprinted it. And what I might do with this is add some sort of glitter around it, because I'm not doing the foil, Didn't want it to stand out in the same way on both. I wanted it to look a bit different. So the writing at this point has come out lovely. I can read it, even the little bit I can read really clearly. But I've got to be so careful again. I'm definitely, I think what I would say is less water, longer time waiting. And alcohol is your friend, because it gets so grotty for a bit. Right. Oh, I'm just so worried to do that one rub too many. I might do the same as the top. I might see what it's like when it's cooked. Right, I'm just going to have to clean this one as well with the alcohol, and I can remember where I put it. Where did I put you? You disappeared. I'm just going to clean it up a minute before I do anything else. I mean, you might not want to do this one and just do the one cloud. I just fancied doing this. See what it came out like. You could always put the name up in the top cloud if it's what you preferred, or however you do it. I mean, you can just do a portrait this way. In fact, I would imagine that would have a much chance of coming out better because it's not so small and intricate. You can get away with more with bigger. That makes sense. Let me just clean this. See how it looks. But when it's as small as this, you know, you don't get away with anything. I think that's about all I'm going to get off. Oh, there you go. I've just gone and knocked the 9. That's silly. I wonder if I can... Oh, yeah. I managed to push it back. Not perfectly, but enough, I think. Just get that false sense of relaxing, and then... Oh, no, now I've just done the S. There we go. That was luck. All I'm going to do there is leave that to dry, and then I'm going to put a little bit of mica or something around it to liven it up. I know it's still a bit grotty, but I just want you to see how clear it is and you can actually read it. I'll just give that a minute, and while that just has a little time to rest for a minute, I'm just going to roll out the texture lace one. So for that I need to roll some more out on a number 2. And what have I got left over that's usable? Rather than no, lots of it has got grotty from the... Gosh, this is going to be a waste if I don't think what to do with this. Oh, there's some there. Right, let's see. Much more than we need, no doubt. I don't want to move that paint because I'm going to be using it in a minute, aren't I? So, I'm not quite sure how to apply the lace on that one, because there's a lot less room, so I might do it differently, but let's get it. Oh dear, what's that? Oh, I've got some gold leaf in there. Better remove that. That's more than enough anyway. Let's put it clean side on the lace. Okay, so we got a lace, and we'll cut a piece out to just work out what area you want to cut from. Like more pattern rather than less, I think, for this, so I'm actually going to cut out there. Okay. I've got a bit of a mess going on here at the moment, but I want to incorporate everything, so I think on this one I'm just going to gently cut out yeah, I think I'm just going to, I don't know, let's decorate it first. So I'm going to use some of these in my grotty little pot. I love these. They're holographic mica flakes. They all want to go on, not in. Come on, in the crevices, you kids. To be told. I'm going to add a little bit of gold. I haven't decided how to finish it yet, whether to resin it, varnish it, liquid clay, whatever. I haven't decided, so we'll see how that goes as it goes. So I'll add the edge in after on this one. So that's the top, roughly. That's kind of where it goes, so I can either, have I got a smaller one? No, I don't really want a smaller one, do I? Too small. Or do I manually do something? Yeah, I think what I'm going to do with this is, I've got to mimic this again now, so I'm pretending this is this. Let me make sure it's all on screen. Move you out the way. Let's get you straight, it's easier to work it out. Right, so I know the pattern I can see there, which is going to be about there. So if I cut this about here, initially, actually saying that, I want to mica it first, don't I? To tidy it up, to clean it up. So they're going to be going each end, just a very rough version of it. And I'm just going to add a little bit of mica around the words just to warm it up. What colour have I got here? I think I've got a white gold somewhere. Sorry, I'm just looking for it. This colour will do nicely. It's a champagne, but it's going to be complementing the gold, isn't it? So you guys come out of the way, and I think I'll use a brush to do this. So I'm just coming in to edge around the words. Doesn't have to be perfect, I haven't got any straight lines, I'm just going to ease it in and out, but just give it a nice glow around it rather than looking like I've been rubbing paper off of it and cleaning it. That's it, it's better, but I only want it where I need to because I don't want it to stop the clay from sticking. That's about right. And again, I'm going to have another go of getting that paper off when it's cooked, because that could be what will work best. So now I put that on there, which I can tidy up in a minute. And then on this side, I'm doing exactly the same. And I'm not going to be curling it up or anything, it's too small. But I'm wondering whether to to add any more clay around it or whether to just leave it like that. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm just going to tidy up the edges to an extent. I'm going to do most of the tidying up when it comes out, because that's like the way I prefer to do it rather than before. Okay, just move that out the way a minute. I'll just show you how that looks. So, I don't know if you can see that clearly. So for me that's fine. I'm just going to edge gold around it, and then they'll both be ready to go into the oven. Now, do I want them straight or curled? Or wavy rather. Let me just try and edge this just to the top's edge. I'll tidy the sides after. Don't want to put any fingers anywhere I don't need to. I wonder whether I should have just done that edge. Yeah, I can just ease that edge. I haven't painted it either, have I? It's so small. It's see how they look together. I suppose if it's going to be painted, I'll just do that now anyway. Where's the thing I was using? Oh, it's that much messier now. Hang on a minute. I'll give this all a good tidy up in a sec. Right. So with this now, I'm just going to literally find those lace pattern bits like I did on the bigger one. Just add it randomly. And then the edges and everything else I shall tidy up when it's come out of the oven. See if I can rain that a little bit. Right, okay. So I don't think I'm going to dome them because I don't know. No, I'm not going to dome them, I'm going to leave it flat. Okay, so I'm going to put those into the oven and then I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so being aware of time and people don't seem to like long videos, I've decided to do certain bits and then just come back and show you. For example, I've done backs on them, which I've shown in many other videos, as the red bit rub and buff I've used on them, just to give them a sort of a rough look. And then I made drill holes down the bottom here, and just like earrings, I've literally put the jump rings through and they're holding that. Then at the top here I did a slightly bigger hole, and then I threaded this through. So there's my Christmas decoration, especially for my Alf, my beautiful boy. So hope you like it. Thank you.